Okay, pit crew training. The first thing you should do at pit crew training, this is for anyone that wants to know about how to do their pit crew. The very first thing you do is you go custom. The next thing you do is you go to cumulative. Then you go to show chance of mistake. The attributes one, you can work off of it, but as long as these are not all red, you should be all right. The next thing you do is you go to the race day of your next race. You do not want your pit crew to be more than 40% tired on the race day. So once you know what your race day fatigue is, you can work backwards from that. So now I'll start here. What I really want to improve on is the chance of mistake. My pit stop time at 2.6 is like bang average, but it's more important at this stage, I think, that we start to reduce the chance of mistake. So you just go to pit stop drills. They're in the blue, so that's good. But by the time we get to race day, they're back into the red. So you've just got to go another bit of pit drill training, still in the red, but they're only 31% tired. Then you just keep going. You just keep going like this. You just balance it between improving and being tired, 40%. So now I've reached like the optimal situation, which is I'm improving on the training across the board. My overall chance of mistake is coming down. And on the race day at Montreal, I'm only 40% tired. The trade-off is that your car building and your pit stop time is going to get worse. But what you have to work out, especially at a team like this where you're bottom of the rung, what's more important? Being super shit hot fast at pit stops or not having to suffer 12-second pit stops? And do you know what? I'll take the reduced risk of a 12-second pit stop. After a race day, I would always suggest resting for 1 day minimum, potentially 2, because you will reap the benefit towards the next race weekend. For now, because we're not doing any gym work, I'm going to rest for 1 day. Then I'm going to go back onto pit stop training and just make sure that by the time we get to Barcelona race day, we're not 40% tired. Now, what you could do here is potentially throw in 1 day at the gym to try and at least get the pit stop time to be 0 across the board so that you don't lose any time. But in the grand scheme of things, the difference between a 2.6 second pit stop and a 2.8 second pit stop, when you're this far down the grid, it makes no difference. The important thing is to make sure you're not getting them stupid mistakes, because that can ruin your race. When you click go back to show attributes, your sporting director has a ceiling on how well your pit crew can be. So because my sporting director is dog shit, the aptitude is the attribute that decides how well your pit crew can improve. Once all of these figures reach 72, you cannot make your pit crew any better. So that is like the glass ceiling that you reach. So maybe 1 more pit stop drill. 43% tired. I'm not going to go any more than that. And our pit stop crew is reaching that ceiling where they're not going to get any better. So I'm not going to do any more training before Barcelona. When you have a double header weekend, my advice, don't do any training in the week before the second race, because your pit crew will they'll still be knackered. Essentially, the biggest impact is if you make them weary, which is 50% or more, they are guaranteed to make a mistake. For me, I'm happy with that.